Hey guys, welcome back to Project E. This week's episode is really special for this time of the year. It's all about finding those hard spots, those areas where the bottom's a little harder or a little chunkier. I'm going to show you what they look like on my electronics and how and where I go about trying to find them. You want to stick around to the very end because there's a really cool one that I found at the very end that'll show you exactly what to look for. Thanks guys for watching. Hey guys, welcome back to Project E. Today I want to try to accomplish the goal of telling you how I find rough spots, hard spots. Those are the things that, man, I look for right after the fish spawn. You know, there's a lot of things out offshore and there's a lot of things that look like maybe rough spots or hard spots, but I'm gonna hopefully show you what they look like on my depth finder, hopefully show you some fish on those things, and then turn around and show you how I catch them. Let's go. You know, I've got my panel set up. I've got it in that #1 pallet. The #1 pallet's one of my favorites. I also like the #6 pallet. They both will accomplish what we need to try to accomplish. Now I'm talking about Lowrance units. So as I idle along down through here, I'm kind of getting my baseline color. You can just see, you know, just the colors that I have there, looking out to the side. This is where I'm looking right here. Is this zone right in through here, and what I want to try to find is where it changes. That almost kind of changes. I don't know if you can pick it up, but there's a little bit of change right there, starting to get some more change. And I just texture of the bottom, let's say I'm talking about the texture of the bottom. The spot I'm idling right here is just a creek bend. That's one of the #1 places that I'll look, is where a creek swings up. You know, that's gonna be a harder bottom versus say the inside or a straight bank of the creek. Another spot that I'm gonna look a lot today is on points. You know, out off points, that's just a place that the current, wind current, lake current will keep the silt off the bottom. Right there is a rough spot. You can just see how it's different. It's just a little bit different right there. Right there is kind of a rough spot. If you threw your Carolina rig out there, you would feel that. You would feel the difference in that spot versus that spot. There's a fish. I don't think it's very big, but it's a bite. Man, you can almost tell every time when you're gonna get a bite because it starts dragging harder. Man, he swallowed it. There's a good one. Oh. We got a bite. We pulled up to this hard spot. And right when I got in it, you can just feel that hard spot so good with that Carolina rig. It's just a great way to catch fish. And fish will just use these hard spots right when they get done spawning. Kind of cool little deal. It's nothing fancy up there. There's no big drop. You know, we just idling down through here and we saw it. There's a pile of them. They're just not very big. I don't know where the size went. That's a better one. Oh yeah, I'm getting bigger. They're getting bigger. He's not a giant, but he's a better one. Got a mark on that fish. That is one thing about hard spots. You will find some that'll have little ones, and then you'll turn around and you'll find a spot that's got big ones. But a lot of times when you find a hard spot, it has got a pile of fish on it. You know, it's when I talk about these hard spots, it's not always they're never big drastic drop-offs. They're always very subtle, you know, drops. You know, you're not looking for a big bluff or steep area. And they're always just kind of a gradual rise, and somewhere up there, when you find it, 9 times out of 10, they got a lot of fish on them. I don't know why, but they do, and you can just catch them every cast. I don't know how many I've caught here. I've got a bite on every cast since I've been here. Just can't catch a big one. There's so many fish there. when he went down, one of them ate my weight. It's a lot of fish. You know, this spot here wasn't very deep at all. You can see it's just got a real gradual rise, and you see the color change from right here to right here. That's what those fish were holding on. That's all it is. I mean, they're just right there on that rough spot. There's the fish sitting right out there. You can see those fish, look right there. Every one of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fish. That's them, right there. Prime example, look how hard this spot is right here. It's just a big hard area. You can see where it changes light to dark. I mean, that's a really, really good example. That's what I'm looking for. It's nothing drastic, nothing special. It's just that color change right there. This is hard, that's soft. Real important, don't get in a big hurry with your motor. You know, I like to go slow. If you get in a hurry, you get this kind of fuzz and this doesn't look good. Swallow too. He's had that one for a while. Size of your weight, I think, super important. You know, I want to get away with the biggest Carolina rig weight I can, you know, ounce. That's what I like, just no matter what depth I am. But the problem that happens when you get in some super jagged rocks, you can't get that weight through there. So, you know, if you start getting snagged up a bunch or losing a bunch of weights, you might have to drop down to a 3/4 or a 1/2 ounce weight. That'll help not get snagged up so bad. Man, you can just tell when you get in those rougher areas, you know, that's where you feel like you should get a bite. This might be a better one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is a nice one. Once I get them on and get them up, I like to back that drag off because I don't ever know what shape my line's in. You know, you're dragging it on those rough spots. They're really hard on your line. And that weight's always beating on that knot. I always back that drag off as much as I possibly can, just so I don't break it. Cause you know, I've got him up off the bottom. Man, a pretty fish. He wants to be a movie star. Good night, buddy. Come here. Come here, come here, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Oh, buddy, come here. Open that mouth. Open that mouth. Just a pretty post-spawn fish. That's what you catch out here on those rough spots. You just got to move around. You know, the first one I hit, man, it was just like little fish, little fish, little fish. I hit 2 more that I never got a bite on. And then I've got 2 bites on this one. That's a pretty decent one. I'll take him all day long. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Real important. These rough spots, they're generally one critical cast on them. So I made me a lineup when I set the hook on that fish, and obviously I got the trail on my Lowrance. I didn't make a waypoint, but I want to make that same exact cast as many times as I can. Generally those little bit rougher spots, that's what they tend to gravitate to, and to me, in my mind, it's just a little bit bigger rock, or you know, a little bit whatever it is down there, but something about them, they hold fish. Now, one mistake I just made, I didn't check my line. I threw it right back out there trying to get another bite. I should have checked my line. Having to hold my rod up to keep my bait, like as I'm moving my bait, I'm wanting to bring it this way instead of this way, because I always Carolina rig, pulling it to the side. You just got better contact with the bottom, but it's so chunky right there. I gotta kind of hold it up, try to keep it up in the air. Here is a prime example of what I'd love to find out here in 8, 10, 12 feet of water. It's very small, but that's a great looking rough spot to me right there, because it's small. It's on a very subtle point. You know, it's not on a big point on my Navionics that says fish here. It's a very subtle round point. but that's a perfect hard spot out of the water. That's what it would look like if the water was drained. You know, this lake's low and you can see that. It's just a little spot of rocks where you got mud and sand on both sides. Those fish and shad will gravitate towards that. Hey guys, so there it is. That's a video on what I do, what I look for on those hard spots. Remember, it's not gonna be this big drastic fish here sign. It's gonna be very subtle, a color change on your screen. Another video that you can reference is the one that me and my brother-in-law, I've got a part 1 and a part 2 where we won a tournament right here in Oklahoma on a pre-spawn hard spot. It was about 3 foot deep. It was just a big field that had a little high spot in the middle. Not a stick of brush, no stumps, no nothing. It was just a hard, rocky bottom. All those fish were transitioning up there to spawn. We whacked them. We caught like 62 pounds. You want to check that out. It's over there on the Uncut series, that stuff that we try to put out on Thursdays or Fridays. But also, I've got another video coming up here in a couple weeks on how I find those when I'm sitting at home looking at the computer. It's going to be a video you're going to want to check out. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like button, send me a comment, tell me what you think, what you want to see, and I'll do my best to get it out there. I appreciate you guys watching. Come back next week.